Hey guys, how's it going? It's the Crypto Analyst here, and I hope all of you guys are having a good morning, evening, wherever you guys are from, and welcome back to another Bitcoin Technical Analysis. Now, in today's video, we're going to be discussing the current state of Bitcoin. Is it bullish? Is it bearish? What exactly this consolidation pattern up here means, as well as look into a couple of the indicators and oscillators, doing a deep technical analysis of Bitcoin. So if you guys are interested, go and stick around for the video, and do not forget to hit the like and subscribe button, as it does help out the channel a lot. But that being said, let's go ahead and dive right on into today's video and breaking down Bitcoin and where I believe it's going in the short-term future. So we're going to be doing a couple of analysis. Again, like I said, we're going to be doing short-term, but we're also going to be doing a little bit of mid-term here, because I think that is the way to go and trade Bitcoin right now, because a lot of people have been telling you that this is a no-trade zone. At least a lot of the people I know, this is a no-trade zone for us, because it's not worth it. There's nothing worth trading in here. You could be trading stocks right now, or Forex, or a whole lot of other different things, and you could be making a whole lot more money than you could in the short term of Bitcoin. It's just kind of an unpredictable zone. There's not a lot of movement, and we've just had a lot of consolidation for the last couple of days in Bitcoin. But it looks like that is coming to an end here pretty soon. And with this being said, what was actually kind of looking like a bull flag is now kind of starting to fail on Bitcoin. It's starting to just ride this resistance line. You're getting one piercing candle, which is all right, but I still think that this has a little bit of upside. But for the most part, this is a pretty bearish situation for Bitcoin. I think it's going to have one last rally in this, one last hurrah, and then I think it's going to look for another hefty dump on Bitcoin. Now, this could happen sometime within the next weeks. I believe that Bitcoin, if it does have a move up, it will have to be within the next week. I think sometime at the beginning of next week is when the move will happen. It could be a little bit earlier, but again, I think the beginning of next week, you're actually going to see a rally on Bitcoin, and it could actually see a price action breaking up to somewhere around 4,200. If it broke that, I think we could go and test even higher highs over here at around probably around 4,400. So if it does stop somewhere around this area, around 4,200, 4,250, then you could go and retest this higher levels over here. So we're getting these two areas from these two previous highs on Bitcoin. With that being said, though, I think that that is going to be the final destination for Bitcoin before it starts dumping again. And when I say dumping again, I don't think it's going to be anything like we're going to $100 or $1,000 right away. But if we do respect this channel, and I want to point this out, the channel that we're in right now, where I believe that we could go on Bitcoin based upon this parallel channel that we have going, and even resistance over here, is somewhere around the levels of this area over here, which is around 2,900. Or if we respect the parallel channel, then we'd probably go somewhere around 27, maybe $2,800. Again, depending on how fast this falls. The longer this takes to fall, the lower the price is going to go. And I want to go ahead and highlight that by really pointing this out. Now, of course, guys, we have the giant falling wedge over here. If we switch this to our 1 day, we can go ahead and highlight that. This giant falling wedge, which is the blue support, and then of course the red support being, the red support being the parallel channel support. So switching this over back to the 4 hour before we do a deep technical analysis of the 1 day, I want to go over some of the indicators and oscillators on our RSI and MACD. And the MACD really isn't pointing out too much to us. It's really just insignificant. Your oscillators are pointing down, but the RSI is where I really start getting some good information, because here you have two separate swing highs, both saying you're getting a lower swing high on your MACD or on your RSI, saying, hey, you're getting lower levels of positive momentum in this area. This thing could be looking bearish in the near future. Now it's going to come up. It looks like it's trying to rally up here again, and you do have a nice support over here on your RSI, saying, hey, you know, take note of this. You're also getting higher lows, so you're starting to get squeezed on Bitcoin, and this is why I say the price action of what we're seeing on the candle charts is coming to an end, because I think this is tying directly in correlation to our RSI, which is where things are going to start breaking down here pretty soon. I think that this thing is ultimately going to turn bearish, and it's going to see, you know, at least a little bit of a decent downfall in the price action of Bitcoin. But the 1 day is what really starts getting to me, because here, let's go ahead and show this parallel channel on the 1 day so you guys get a little bit of a better view of this. Again, still numerous touches on the 1 day. You're getting one rejection candle, two rejection candle, piercing candle hits the 50 EMA, gets rejected, back into the channel, a third rejection candle. So you have 3 daily rejection candles plus the piercing candle that just hit the 50 EMA, also getting rejected. So for the past 4 days, you have been getting rejected just day after day after day. And when you get rejected this many times on Bitcoin, it's generally not the best thing to see. Now, If you're looking at this from your MACD, it looks like you're setting yourself up for some bearish divergence. This is rallying and what seems to be rounding off over in this area over here. And if we actually pull this down, we can actually see that it's either flatlining or it looks like it's getting ready to round off over here. But it looks like it's setting itself up for some sort of bearish divergence on its daily MACD as well, which again isn't necessarily a good thing. If we're going over to our RSI over here, we're seeing kind of something similar. It's not really as bad as all of the rest. I would say that the daily RSI is really one of the most bullish things that you can see on Bitcoin. But even then, it's really not bullish. It's really just at almost a double top right now. It's pointing upwards. It could break this, but again, time will have to tell. We'll have to see. But just for the short term being, it's just neutral. Like it really is. Your RSI is neutral. It's coming off of a pretty nasty downtrend over here. But for the most part, guys, your RSI is at a neutral level. Your MACD is looking kind of bearish, to be honest. And while your oscillators, again, are still pointing upwards, this could all just not play out. But for the most part, when I'm looking at a formation and stuff like this, just seeing constant rejection and just no way, and still having lower highs, but also in this channel just forming a bearish situation for Bitcoin ultimately, because even if it does go up to some of these levels like we saw, it still really wouldn't do much and it would still be bearish, just as bearish. So I'm having a hard time looking at Bitcoin right now from a very, very bullish perspective. I think in the short term, this support is going to break. We've had this support since December 18th, or since December 19th, December 18th, and I think that the support is prying up to break. Now, again, it's like I said, the upside of this could be in the short term. You could have a break towards the upside, testing some of these upper levels before coming back down. It's not going to be this volatile. Obviously, this is just a sketch to save us some time over here on Bitcoin. But in the short term of Bitcoin, this is really what I'm watching out for. Now, another thing that we have to look at on Bitcoin is when we're doing this kind of stuff is watch the heart line, because the heart line of these channels actually plays an important role. So let's just say that this does, in a best case scenario, like everyone's saying it's going to do, hit 4,200. That's what everyone's aiming for right now, right? So let's just say, oh, little high. Let's redraw this. Let's just say it goes back up to 4,200, right? It hits over this area and then it starts rounding off and it starts coming down, right? Then we hit support. We'll probably like hit the top of this trend line first, like this, something like this. We go up to 42, come back, hit this, get a little consolidation, hit this, little consolidation, drop. And then I think this is where we can actually see a nice bounce over here, or even a nice scalp, because this heart line of this channel is actually going to be pretty nice. And we've seen this heart line be used as support numerous times. I mean, just look at it, the past examples. I think you could actually kind of see some sort of a bounce, maybe even come back up here, test this trend line, then get rejected again, and probably come down here and break this. And that's when we could start seeing lower lows on the price action of Bitcoin from, I guess, a 12-month perspective. And that's when things could get a little bit nastier. But again, if you have shorting options, I know I do, I'd definitely be looking for shorting options for myself personally. Anything above or around 4,200, maybe even 4,400. Again, I'm going to be watching these levels. I'm going to be watching for reversals. I'm going to be watching for divergence. And you know, if this is screaming, hey, this is ready to fall, which it's kind of doing right now, then I will be looking for shorting positions on Bitcoin somewhere between the range of 4,200 and 4,500. And anywhere in there, I think, is going to be really my way out of Bitcoin and saying, hey, I'm ready for some sort of a fall. I'm looking kind of bearish on this. And that's just in the short / midterm of Bitcoin. Now, I think that this could play out towards probably January. I think that this will all be played out within the next 2 weeks. So I would say by the time January 22nd rolls around, I think that this will have been all played out by then. So again, this is short to midterm, not really even midterm. This is really just all short term, to be honest, and what I see in the price action of Bitcoin. Again, nothing too giant. You do have a little bit of what could be parabolic moves down. It could be about a measured move of, well, if we go all the way back up to 4,200 and we fall all the way down to 2,800, you could have almost a $2,000 move. It'd probably be about a $1,500 move nearly. So, you know, take that as what you will. Again, it's not legal, financial, or tax advice anyway. This is just what I believe could happen to Bitcoin in the near future. And we're going to have to see and wait to see if this plays out, because right now we're only at the 9th of January. So we still have, really another 15 days here, another 2 weeks to watch this play out, which will be very unique. Now, the one thing I want to mention is that if this is disrespected, and if this channel is disrespected, again, now 1, 2, and numerous touches on your third, line of resistance, and only 2 touches on support, you know, we're going to have to see, you know, is this support viable? We really only have 2 touches. If we're looking at this from our blue line giant falling wedge perspective, you have a little bit more of a support. You have a little bit more viable option to believe that it'll hold this. But if this is disrespected for the bullish case, and this does actually go up, and you know, you end up touching around $5,000, which is another big price point that everyone's talking about right now, that's all the more reason to be bullish, right? That's great. You know, I'd love to be proven wrong and have this thing go up to a $5,000 Bitcoin, hit resistance, retest this, see if it's ready to break out of this giant falling wedge, and if it is, again, all the more to Bitcoin. I'm a huge Bitcoin advocate, so I'd love that, but at least for the short term, in my honest opinion, I think it needs a little bit better of volume. It needs a little bit more bullish activity, because just the way that it's looking right now, I don't see it going too much higher than probably 42, 4,500 before it ends up start dumping again. You know, and whether it will even reach that level will be, you know, that's something that we're going to have to wait about and see. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video, guys, up. I want to know what you guys think about this. Where do you guys see Bitcoin going in the short-term future, being the next 2 weeks? Where do you guys see Bitcoin going over the next 2 weeks? What do you see it peaking at? Do you see it coming back down? I want to know in the comment section down below. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for watching the video. If you guys did enjoy, do not forget to hit the like and subscribe button, as it does help out the channel a lot. And I will see you guys all in the next video.